Hey, so I'm using the free Wi-Fi at the library because the library is still not open yet. So sad. But at least they have the parking lot open. They opened up the Wi-Fi so you don't need the code inside, whatever. It's awesome. Actually, you might not need a code ever. But so I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what I do. Because I'm sure people are like, what the heck does she even do, anyways? Well, first off, I'm a coach. I am technically a lifestyle coach because being a health coach, that is lifestyle related. So, but I specifically coach young people. That is who I work with. I mean, I can work with adults, but adults are a little, one of those, that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? It's total BS. You can teach any age person or dog or pig any trick, but that sits heavy with a lot of people. And so there's a lot of grown-ups that, they just close, they shut off. Children, on the other hand, and young adults are still very open. So that is who I work with. And I wanted to read, well, okay. So I teach children how to be themselves, or young people how to be themselves, because I really teach not just children, but I teach tweens and teens, and like I said a second ago, young adults. So that's exactly what I teach. I teach them how to be themselves. I absolutely love epiphanies. I narrowed down that I wanted to work with children, and then I was open to everything but. So then after reading posts, I don't even need to talk about this. This is silly stuff. So it's just me babbling about how happy I am that I figured out that I'm working with children. So this makes my message so easy because my whole life I had to work at feeling normal, even though I totally wasn't, and nobody is normal. Like, no one is normal. We're all unique and different in our own ways. People will try their freaking whole lives to be normal, but that's not even, like, what is normal? Because normal is it's the eye of the beholder, just like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Normal is in the eye of the beholder. What's normal to me is totally not normal to a lot of other people. And what's normal to all these different people, some of it may be normal to me, but some of it may be totally out there and like wild and crazy and not normal to me. So, but regardless, I've spent so much of my childhood, trying to feel normal. And I think most children go through this. And, you don't come into the world this way. You come into the world feeling like super amazing and empowered. But then once you enter the world, it's our society, our traditions, our family lifestyles that will just slowly chip away at this like amazingness and openness until eventually you just kind of shut down and then you start questioning everything. Been there, done that. So, the problem is we're all walking around with these insecurities, which totally makes sense because humans are wired to be in communities, and straying too far from the norm may get you ostracized. That is the last thing anyone wants when you're living in the wild, is to be ostracized from your community. These days, we're not living in the wild anymore. We don't even have to grow our own food anymore, although I highly recommend it. But we don't have to. And so we've built this incredible society around us that takes care of so many of our needs that before we really had to work together to make things happen. Now we can all be so much more independent. It's really kind of awesome. But with that added independence comes a level of confidence that you have to have in order to be independent. Otherwise, you're still relying on everyone. You're still relying on your family to tell you that you're a good person. Like, how many people have not felt good about themselves and they have to hear it from other people? Maybe friends, maybe a teacher, definitely parents. We all want to hear that from our parents. So, we've, we don't want to be ostracized, and this like thing is deep seated in us that we have to like stay with the crowd and we have to act like the crowd. I mean, God, this whole like crowd mentality, this like everyone being sheep. That's all that is. It's this like unwillingness to stray away and to just be like, well, everyone else is doing this, so I have to do this too. But is that really right? Just because someone else is doing it, does that really make you right? God, my parents used to always say, if your friend jumped off a bridge, that doesn't mean you would too. And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, unless it looked really exciting and maybe you were attached to a bungee cord, that actually would be fun. Or you were diving into deep water, not shallow water. That would suck. But seriously, like I hated that phrase. I heard it all the freaking time. But it's true, you know, just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to too. Like who said you have to post the same freaking Instagram photos of everyone else? Who said you have to make the same stupid pity me post on Facebook that everyone else is? Like nobody. Everyone's just doing it though because they can't think for themselves. So that's actually one of the things I totally teach is how to think for yourself. And that is a skill that people are losing, definitely. So, let me make sure this is still recording. It is, yay. Okay. So, we've totally bastardized marketing and our messages, and now people actually feel uncomfortable if they're being a little bit different. I mean, it's totally true. That's online bullying. That's all online bullying is picking out people who are doing something a little different. They don't deserve to be bullied. They're doing something on their own. Like everyone should be doing something on their own. But even online bullying is a sheep herd mentality, you know, where it's like, well, other people are making fun of this person, so I'm going to make fun of this person too. That's how it all starts. All it takes is one asshole saying something stupid to someone who maybe phrased something differently or thought of something differently, and then everyone else is like, yeah, that person's stupid. Yeah, you're so stupid. And it just goes and goes and goes, and it's absolutely ridiculous. The thing is you may be making one comment, but that person is receiving hundreds of comments. So your one comment is one of hundreds. In a way, it's like when people have that feeling like, well, if I don't recycle, I'm just one person. But yeah, if 100 people in a town of 200 say, I'm not going to recycle, I'm just one person, then nobody's recycling. Hello. So it's the same way. All it takes is, one person has the power of many. So I teach children and young adults and teens and tweens how to be themselves. I help them feel comfortable in their own skin. I help them blossom their talents out into awesomeness. In our groups, because I do group coaching, FYI, we love diversity because it's diversity that makes us all interested in each other. Because every single one of us has these like unique talents that make us special, and if we're not sharing these unique talents, we're going to get really bored with each other. Like, oh, if you've ever seen Madagascar 2 with Marty, and he thinks he's all special because he can do all these zebra tricks, but then he gets to the African safari, and everyone, they're all like, well, if you can do it, we can do it too. And he just all of a sudden is like, I don't want to be around all these people that are like me. I want to be around people that are different, you know? Like, I learn stuff from them, they learn stuff from me. But if everyone's the same as me, I can't learn anything from them, and they can't learn anything from me because we're already the same. Like, what a boring freaking life. So, in our groups, we totally 100% celebrate diversity. If your parent wants to know, I guess I'm talking to parents too. I'm talking to kids and parents. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to all of you. But for parents out there who have children, like, if you enroll your children, I've got one-on-one coaching, which is like, I mean, and it's like hiring your own personal fitness trainer. You're going to have so much better results when you work with this person, once or twice a week. than you would trying to do it on your own or even doing like a group class. Do they even have, well, like if you're doing CrossFit or something, it's like you're going to get a lot better doing the CrossFit. But if you have that personal trainer actually like by your side saying, no, you're doing this wrong. Oh, you're doing this right. Perfect. Keep that up. You're just going to move that much faster. So I offer one-on-one for your children or your young person, but I also do group coaching, which is a hell of a lot more affordable. And I think a hell of a lot more fun, especially for your kids. I mean, obviously your children are going to have a blast with me because I've like buku experience working with children. I used to teach private music lessons, which I loved. And oh my God, when I stopped because I was, life took me in other paths, I had so many parents like, no, you have to come back and teach my children. When I used to part-time nanny for different families, it was the same thing. I'd be like, I'm going to move. No, my kids love you. Don't do it. You have to stay. Like, we'd move you in if we could. So I already know your children are going to freaking love it. But the group sessions, they're going to have all these other kids to work with, and it's going to be so much fun. But here's some of the benefits that they will get out of my programs. They'll perform better in school. They're going to get way better grades. They're going to stay engaged in everything. You're never going to see that, like, slamming the door, like, I don't want to. Slam the door, like, you can't make me. They're actually going to want to do stuff. And if they don't want to do stuff, they're going to actually be able to share with you why rather than just just shutting off. So you're actually going to feel a part of their lives for once. Or hopefully you already do, but I know there's parents out there that do not feel like they're a part of their kids' lives. They're going to be happier in general, like super effing happy a lot of the times. I mean, we're not going to be happy all the times. Things come, get thrown our way that aren't that great. Deaths in the family, deaths with friends. Oh gosh. Anyways, but they're going to come out of it so much sooner. They're going to know how to bounce back. Like, that's huge. And I can't remember what the quote was, but I heard something amazing today that was like, strength is measured in how quickly you bounce back. It's not whether you can, it's how quickly you can. Some people don't ever do it. Some people like hit rock bottom and they just stay there. They're going to look better. This is truth because I teach a lot of health practices. They're going to look awesome. Not only are they going to be eating better, they're going to care about how they treat their body, but that's going to transfer to their physical appearance. They're also just going to have a better mindset, which is also going to transfer to a physical attractiveness. So, it's like you can have a super pretty girl and a like kind of pretty girl right next to each other. And if the super pretty girl is like sitting there like the whole time, she doesn't look pretty. But if you have this semi-pretty girl that's just like beaming and glowing and hey, and just open to people are going to be like, damn, she is hot. Like that is, and I'm not saying that, any dads out there that have teen daughters, like, I know that's not your, that's probably not your goal. Maybe you do want hot looking girls like our president. Regardless, they're going to feel so much better about themselves because they're going to be looking better and people are going to notice it. They're going to be more active in life in general. They're going to have so many more friends. That's huge right there. Like, how many parents out there have children or young people in their house that are just like, you feel like they just don't have enough friends. They're spending too much time with themselves and not out playing and exploring and hanging out with people. Well, that's all going to change. They're going to have way more friends. Not only the friends they make in their group coaching class, if they're in that, but they're just going to like, I mean, people are going to gravitate towards them, honestly. Like, they're going to show up at school when they do open and people are going to be like, I don't remember you from last year. Are you new here? And they're going to be like, no. Yeah, not at all. Actually, we were in 3rd grade together. Really? Huh, I gotta go look at my yearbook. That kind of thing. They're going to be all interested. Like, we're going to hang out. They're going to talk better. They're going to talk more, I should say. If anyone out there has children that are shy and just like hiding in their shells all the time, this is totally going to break them out of their shells. They are going to be just open to talking to strangers, to extended family members, to like, they're just going to be they're just going to talk more. they're going to talk more with you. That right there is huge. Like, how many people want to have actual conversations with their children? How many used to have conversations with their children, and then all of a sudden it stopped? Like, going back to the you don't feel like you're close to your kid anymore. Like, and that'll end. You're going to actually have adult conversations with them, which is going to be amazing. And the best part is they're all going to grow into absolutely amazing contributing members of society. Diversity is key here, not just with their talents. They're all going to discover what their talents are, and they're going to be sharing it with the group if they're in the group course. If they're one-on-one, we're obviously going to uncover their talents way sooner, and we're going to find ways that they can share with people for, whether it's online. I mean, everything's online these days, so they probably, I already know they know more than me. Even if your child's 5 years old, they probably know more about certain apps than I do. But I know they know more than you do because I know a lot, just because I do work with young people. So, but in the group sessions, they're going to be sharing their talents. It's going to be free flowing. It's going to be awesome. But not only are we going to celebrate diversity with each child's talents, but everyone's going to be from different countries, different parts of this country. Like, we're going to have, it's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to get rolling with all these. So, and eventually I do want to branch out into other countries that are not English speaking and hire non-English speaking coaches to work with them. And as online translation gets better and quicker, eventually we'll be able to, mix these groups together. So we're going to get even more diversity. So exciting. Everything will be online. It will almost be like an alternative school you're sending your child to, but like way cheaper than all these, online education sources. Because your children are going to get to explore what they're good at, and they're going to get to share it with everyone, just like in a real classroom where, every child gets to speak. And in a good classroom. I mean, these days, when you have one teacher and 50 students, it's not as possible and likely that each child is going to get a chance to show off their awesomeness and skills. But everyone's going to show off what makes them different, and not just culturally different, but what makes them unique, not just to the group, but to the world. So here's the pitch to the children. This is what I wrote. What makes you different from everyone else on this planet? There's something unique about you, something super special that no one else has. What is it? By the end of this program, you will not only know what makes you special, you'll know exactly what you are going to do about it. The world is waiting for you, and only you can give it what it wants. It's a little warm here. All right, so I'm just going to read. As far as my story goes, I'm just going to talk about moving all the time and having to start over at each place. So I was a Navy brat. My dad was in the Navy. I was born overseas in Spain, moved here when I was a toddler. But we just kept moving. Like every year or two, we were picking up and moving again. And I know there are a ton of brats out there that know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of people that went through this. Maybe they were in the same town but had to change living situations over and over again. That I've actually dated a couple guys that were in that situation, probably because I attract people who have that unstable childhood like I did. But regardless, um, every new school meant a brand new classroom, brand new playground, brand new lunchroom, all full of new faces. Every time I moved, I got shyer and shyer. By the time I was in high school, everyone just thought I was a bitch, sitting silently in the back of the room. I even stopped raising my hand, hoping to go unnoticed. There were many moments where teachers tried to pull me out of my shell, and I'm sure they saw a lot of potential, the same potential I see in every fucking child and young adult I see. Life has a way of beating us down, over and over and over again. Eventually, some of us stop getting back up. We just stay on the ground. Then there comes a point where we forget all about what it was like to stand up, what it was like to breathe fresh air, to look out over the world we all live in. The more people stay down below, the shittier this world is going to be. If we don't start training young adults to be stewards of not just their bodies, but their world, then we got some serious times ahead of us. It took me a long time to break out of my shell. That was with one parent pushing the positive and the other pushing the system. Some of us have two parents pushing the negative or pushing something other than what's good for us. Some people only have one parent, and that one parent is pushing, maybe what they wanted, not what's best for their child. So, at times, because I had this other side saying, you're not doing it right, you have to do it this way, you need to do it this way, you have to do this, you have to do that. Because of that, I began to completely doubt the validity of even living a better life. I was such an idealistic child. Even in college, people made fun of me at how idealistic I was. Because so many people at that point were just like, this is what you do. Why are you being so different? So I started to completely doubt that living, creating a better world was even possible. Perhaps things are shitty because I refuse to do what everyone else is doing, I thought. Everyone's doing this, but I'm not doing that, so maybe that's why my life is so shitty. Well, everyone thinks I'm crazy anyway, so why not just keep doing what I'm doing? Thank God I had that thought. My mom told me that when I would come up with crazy ideas, don't tell your father until everything's ready to go. He'll talk you out of it. That was the phrase, don't tell your father, he'll talk you out of it. Because she knew that I had this great potential in me. Thank God. Thank God she saw it and that she encouraged it. And I'm not saying my dad didn't want me to be the best. It's just his idea of what was best was his idea, not my idea. Best for me, at least. So, and what worked for him may not work for me. I mean, it might, but it might not. And do I want to waste time trying to figure it out? Tons of people go into exactly what their parents want them to do, only to find out years, sometimes decades later, that wasn't what they ever wanted to do. And they were only doing it because of their parents. Oh, thank God I at least had my mom on this side of me saying, follow your dreams. Follow your heart. I heard that all the time. Follow your dreams. Follow your heart. But it's not just my dad. Everyone's got someone in their lives that wants to talk them out of everything they're doing. And it's always in our best interest. And it's always because they care. They just want us to know that, we're going the wrong way and that we need to, do what they want. And it could be, a teacher, it could be a coach, it could be, a parent, obviously. It could be anyone that, has your best interests in mind. Whenever they say your best interests in mind, what they're really saying is these are my interests and I want you to follow them. They have no idea. And again, they're doing it because they care. They don't honestly know any better. They're really doing it because they want the best for you. They're just not able to see that we're all different, and what's best for one person is never going to be what's best for another. So, when I told my dad 2 weeks before leaving for Springer Mountain that I was going to hike the Appalachian Trail, I honestly have no idea what must have been going through his head. Probably like, up another harebrained idea my daughter came up with. Never really seemed too proud of that, even though I made it all the way through. That thing's got a 10% success rate. Imagine if graduating university was a 10% success rate. Like, out of 100,000 people that go to college, only 10,000 of them, or only 1,000, no, 10,000 of them graduate. Like, that's kind of a big effing deal, right? But I never really got too much excitement from that side of the family after completing it. In fact, I actually got a lot of stinky comments. Stinky, like literally stinky comments. To which I was like, no shit, I've been living in the woods for 6 months. Of course I stink. Anything else you want to share with me? I came back from the hike a little more comfortable in my skin. I talked more. That was one thing my mom's side of the family noticed right away, is that when they would have family discussions, I actually started to join in for the first time ever. I used to never talk. I would just sit and listen. So that was actually really big, that, just breaking out of my shell enough to start conversing with other people. Mind you, I was 27 at the time. I was a really shy kid. I mean, college also helped me break out of my shell a little bit. But yeah, there was a lot of different things. So, I was still nervous though when it came to my talents. And that's one thing that, I'm just now getting over, that I wish, gosh, it's been 15 years since that hike, and 15 years exactly, actually. And just now am I starting to feel comfortable with my talents. So it definitely got me out of my shell and got me talking to people, which is awesome. But there were a lot of missed opportunities that I had. I mean, I was connected, or I still am connected to a huge amount of musicians. I don't know why I was so freaking humble and didn't want to sing in front of people. Like, all the time, oh, you're a singer? Sing me something. It's like, sing on command? What? And it's unfortunate because I'm really fucking good at it. So the idea that I spent so many years shying away from owning it, I didn't own it. I had this like amazing God-given talent that I didn't own up to. And how disgraceful is that, to be given this beautiful gift that you're meant to share with the world and being too shy to share it? I was so, I learned that being humble was good. You learn in the Bible that humility is favorable. But when you take that too far, you don't get to share anything with anyone. And the whole reason we're all here on this freaking planet is to share with each other and to grow from each other and to learn from each other. Like, what's the point of living a life if you're not exploring and doing and living? Honestly. So I missed out on a lot of opportunities that could have been seriously fun and that would have paid very well. But to be honest, I wasn't ready. I had to grow up so much more before any of that could take place. And I got stage skills. When I get comfortable with a crowd, which usually happens really quickly, I can entertain, but I still played the shy girl off stage. And none of that was congruent. I wasn't living a life that was in line with myself. I had this one idea, but I was living a life that didn't match up to that. I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to be in front of people entertaining. I wanted to be singing and touring. I mean, I still just want to tour. Like, that's all I want to do is just tour and perform and speak, and I want to be on stage. Things have to line up in our lives for us to feel good about our lives. Like, in order for us to feel good about ourselves, we have to live a life that matches up with what we feel inside. And I was never ultimately happy because I wasn't doing what I loved. I was working retail jobs and office jobs to make money so I could be a musician full time. How freaking backwards is that? Like, but you know what it was? I had this block from my dad again of you can't make money as a musician. You can't make money as a musician. I still sometimes have this creep up. It's like, you can't make money. So what was I doing? I was making money in every way I could think of that wasn't music. I love to be on stage, but the Humber girl does not get gigs. Even if she's a better vocalist, she's not going to get. It's the loud, in-your-face girl that says, hell yeah, I'm a great singer, that gets all the gigs. Whether her talent matches up to it or not, she's putting herself out there, and I wasn't. So now imagine a life where your best talents are also rewarded. School is fucked up because it hardly encompasses the gamut of what children are capable of learning. They are freaking sponges. Y'all are just sponges. You are soaking up so much more information than any adult could ever wish they could. That goes back to the blocks. And with that old dog, new trick thing. But we take you all and we feed you the same standardized information that everyone else gets. Seriously? Like, oh, and we only teach it in like 2 different formats. It's insane. You have audio and you have visual just with words. Like, it's ridiculous. And so we're taking these amazing, beautiful creatures that are just ready to like soak in as much as possible, and we're limiting what they're learning, which limits what they can be in life. I excelled at school because I'm really smart. And I came from really smart parents. Is smartness a genetic trait? Probably not. But the encouragement of certain traits are capable, and talents are capable of creating greatness. My dad encouraged my interest in science. And so did my mom, because she, of course, was going to encourage anything I was good at. So guess what happened? I was always the science teacher's pet. I was always getting extra credit, staying after class to help out, active in the club scene. Not that club scene. That came much later. And I was definitely getting special treatment because I always had the top grades in the class. What can I say? I'm smart. But social studies, history, English, I mean, what the fuck is English anyways? I mean, I get that it's good for us to know how to read and how to write, but grammar can just go away. And for all you English dorks out there, I give you mad props, because that is just not my forte. That is not my strong point. This is coming from the girl who took Latin in high school, which is like just pure grammar, and I'm not even going to go there. So, shy child, equally shy teen, super awkward in college. Oh my God, my freshman year of college was so special. I went a little nuts with the beer drinking, and everyone thought it was hilarious that I had never had alcohol before I got to college. Because everyone gets it out of their system before you get to college, right? Not me. I thought everyone didn't have alcohol until college because you can't drink till you're 21. Or I was super naive, which definitely the latter. But I mean, like, I knew people who drank in high school because I went to all of the parties. Like, all of them. I'm not joking. One of my one of the girls in my friends group was like one of the hot girls in school. But really well, it was because they wanted her there, and my other friends, we were all hot. What can I say? But the real reason is that I had a big, giant car, a 79 Lincoln Town car, to be exact. The most I fit into it was 13 people, which is awesome. I mean, it was a couch in the front seat, a couch in the back seat, and I had this huge trunk. But because everyone knew I didn't drink, I was like the official class DD. So I went to all the parties. But I honestly don't remember people drinking. Like, I mean, I remember people drinking, but I don't remember people getting drunk. Which I attribute to the fact that unless we're privy to what is, we won't be able to see it. So unless we already know about something, we're not going to be able to recognize it. Nothing can exist without our awareness of it. And this is some heavy duty physics shit with like energy and 3 dimensions. But honestly, like, out of sight, out of mind, it's like the precursor to that. If you never knew about it to begin with, you're never going to be able to recognize it out in the real world. And I had never encountered drunk people before, so I didn't even know how to recognize it. So whether people were drunk or not, I honestly can't tell you. Like, I honestly cannot tell you. Because in my mind, no one was. Maybe I had to get drunk first to recognize it. And I didn't do that till I was 18. So besides over drinking freshman year, I had a lot of firsts, as anyone who leaves the nest for the first time ever. I smoked for the first time, both, in case you're wondering. It's so sad. One morning after this like insane dorm room party, we all woke up and my friend passed out cigarettes, and I lit one up and started smoking it. And as everyone was like waking up, you know, filling their new morning lungs full of smoke, all of a sudden, you know, a few blinks, like, is Ebeth smoking a cigarette? What the fuck? You know? And I explained to everyone, I was like, guys, I smoked pot for the first time last night, so I fucked up my lungs, so I might as well just smoke a cigarette too. And this is coming from the girl, like Miss Vocalist, Miss Singer here, who was like, I'm never gonna smoke because I don't want to mess up my lungs. I don't want to mess up my voice. I'll never do that. So here I am, who's always touted that. Even in high school, everyone thought I was a pothead because, I don't know. I think I'm just like happy and laid back, and so everyone just thought I was high all the time. But I never smoked because I was so against putting smoke in my lungs. It's not good for you, dude. So little did I know that one hit of pot is not gonna fuck up your lungs forever. But I was young and naive, and you know, you start heading downhill and you just kind of roll with it, I guess. So I just went all the way down. But at least I rolled my own cigarettes because it was healthier. But regardless, I had a lot of firsts. It wasn't until I was 20 before I smoked pot for the first time. So yeah, we all have our firsts. Luckily, all of mine were mostly positive experiences, and I wasn't like, you know, gang member or anything like that. But I think that comes from the fact that I was strong enough of a person to know what was right for me and what was not right for me, thanks to my mom. So, the things you learn. So when did I finally break out of my shell? Here's the end of my story. I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. I still have more to do, but we'll do it another time. Cheers.